And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of New Earth Tarot. We're going to have another exciting episode in store today as we're going to take semi-personal and general questions from the live audience here on YouTube chat. So it's good that you're all here today. Looking forward to the broadcast. And of course, before we get started, we're going to start off with a few announcements. Then we'll get into New Earth Tarot today. So let's go ahead and get started.
The world's first spiritual rejuvenation technology in the form of modern everyday items has arrived through AetherX. AetherX offers transcendental healing products that work to detoxify, replenish, and restore you on a physical, emotional, and mental level. The Etherbed kit takes the form of a powerful rejuvenation technology that utilizes your own life force energy to restore organs, glands, bodily systems, the energy system, and replenish emotional and mental well-being. The AetherX card decks, the healing code cards, eliminate and detoxify physical, emotional, and mental conflicts within the body. 44 beautifully designed geometrical cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. The Healing Code cards come in 3 different themes: the body, mind, and energy decks, each with their own specific design to renew and rejuvenate the body. AetherX apparel and accessories that offer comfortable attire and beautiful geometrical and image designs to detoxify, strengthen, and rejuvenate the body. Download our collection of free sample images and cards from our website so that you can witness the benefits of AetherX spiritual technology for yourself. Visit our website now at etherx.co and begin your rejuvenation journey with us.
And of course, the Etherbed kit is now available on AetherX.co. Again, you can kind of just glance over many of the benefits that this Etherbed kit provides. The good news is I'm going to start sending out orders today. Basically, we just launched last week, so the funds are now coming into the new bank account, and so I'm able to start working in sending out people's orders. So once those orders start getting sent out, there'll be some tracking numbers that I'll be getting within the next 24 to 48 hours that will be sent out to the people whose orders I'm going to be fulfilling later today. So we're going to start sending these out. It's going to be awesome. Now, again, a very key factor to all this is the try before you buy, okay? The free trial symbol on our samples page on AetherX.co. So if you go to AetherX.co, you go to the samples page, you'll see that image there. And that image is what's referred to as the Etherbed free trial symbol. And it's a PDF that you download and then just print it out on your printer. If you don't have a printer, just go ahead and go to a print shop and you can print it out. Or if you want, you can have it displayed on your phone or your tablet, similar to the Healing Code cards, and it will work as well too. Okay? But I usually suggest it's a good idea to print out one, or you can even print out multiples of them. With the free trial symbol, what you're doing is when it's printed out on the paper and when you activate it, that entire paper, in regards to its length and its width, contains the code. So it's not just the symbol. If the symbol here is on the center of the paper and you activate it, the entire paper, 100%, has the codes on it. So basically the paper will work on the area of the body that it is placed upon. So this is why it's good to print out multiple copies of each one, and you're activating each one. So you have to activate each one individually if you're printing out multiple copies of the symbol altogether. Again, you can have it on your phone, or you can have it on your tablet, and you just activate it once. You activate it once on your tablet, you activate it once on your phone, okay? If you have a second phone, you have to activate it on that phone. If you have a second tablet, you have to activate it on that tablet, okay? So it's every individual image that you're personally activating, and it goes to work, okay? I've had people come to me who have been able to heal a lot of things just from the free trial symbol alone. They've had problems with their stomach, they've healed it. They've had problems with their headache, they've healed it. They've had back problems, they've healed it. They've had indigestion, they've healed it, okay? So this is showing you a try before you buy. So if you really like the free trial symbol, then you're going to love the Etherbed, because the free trial symbol only has the healing mode. Okay, the bed has the healing mode and it has the sleep mode. So the sleep mode is only available through the Etherbed kit, and it's just like a demonstration. It's no more different than going into a grocery store and you're trying a free sample. Okay, that's exactly what the free trial symbol is, because there may be some people saying, well, I don't know about this, Brad, this whole thing about this Etherbed and these cards and all that stuff. Do these really work? Well, this is exactly why we do free samples, right? So you can try it for yourself. You see that it does work, and now you can invest in something that is going to last for a very long time, for as long as you take good care of it, and will continue to work with powerful healing, powerful rejuvenation for you. So check that out. Again, it's at AetherX.co. And another big announcement is tomorrow I will be interviewing Janine. Okay, so Tarot by Janine will be on New Earth Interviews tomorrow, okay, at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So what you can do, just go down to the video description and you'll see the Zoom link there with my interview with Janine. Okay, so again, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. And if you want to ask Janine a question, you have to be on Zoom. Okay, it's going to be broadcast on YouTube here. But if you have a question for Janine, you got to be on Zoom. Okay, you got to be a live Zoom attendee. Please do not send me emails asking for questions with Janine. Okay, you need to be a live attendee to talk to Janine for tomorrow. Okay, so this is our 5th interview together. So I'm looking forward to doing another interview with Janine. Again, our goal is to see if I can bring Janine on every month. Right, so this is for the month of January, and she was agreeing to come by monthly onto New Earth Interviews. So we're going to have another one in February with Janine as well too. So always great to see Janine. We always have a lot of great synchronicity with a lot of the readings that we both get. So it's always a joy to have her on. So again, make sure you're tuning into that tomorrow. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be exciting. Our last broadcast has about 100,000 viewers. That was incredible. So let's see if we can get another 100,000 for another episode with Janine. It's going to be amazing. And of course, private sessions are available. Distance healing by donation, private sessions, 3 questions by email, tarot readings, higher self communication. Now, an update with this is I'm going to be minimizing the private sessions to Mondays starting in February. The reason being is because a lot of my time is going to be going towards AetherX. I'm still going to be doing my weekly webcasts as I usually do, but I need to have a little bit more time with AetherX. I'm getting this new company off the ground, and we're really going to take it to new heights. So I am just going to be doing one-to-one private sessions effective February 1st, just on Mondays. Okay, so please just be aware of that. So in the meantime, if you want to grab a session, well, there are still some available here in January, besides Monday, then it's good to tackle that when you can. But again, distance healing requests by donation are still happening, and 3 question sessions by email are also happening as well too. All right, and final announcement is that everything on this YouTube channel is backed up onto Odyssey. So again, you can go into the video description. New Earth Teachings backup channel is odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. I already got a couple of donations, so thank you for that, guys. So guys, please remember, semi-personal or general questions. Okay, I just don't take any personal questions regarding this webcast. Okay, if you want personal questions, that's where you book a private session with me. Okay, so let me just go ahead and switch now to live chat. There we go. And so Barbarella, I got your donation here because you've asked a personal question about your finances. So Barbarella, I won't leave you empty-handed. What I'd like you to do is, because you left a donation, I would like you to email me. Okay, so Barbarella, I'd like you to email me. My email is bradjohnson79@gmail.com. Okay, if you can't get that email, then just go to newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page, and you can contact me there. Give me just a little bit more detail regarding your finances, okay? And I'll be happy to do a short reading for you offline, okay? Beyond the webcast today, okay? So please contact me when you can, because you left me a donation. So thank you for that. Okay, so Laura, same thing. Guys, please no personal questions, okay? I mentioned that at the very beginning of the broadcast, okay? Also, remember, it's in the video description as well too, but I don't know if you guys even checked the video description, so please, guys, no personal questions, okay? Even when I interview Janine tomorrow, guys, no personal questions, okay? Semi-personal or general only, okay? So Laura, same thing. If you want to contact me after the broadcast today, either on newearthteachings.com or just drop me an email. I'll be happy to look at something for you as well too, okay? But please, no personal questions, guys. Please, please, please don't do that. We want to keep things semi-personal in general. And the reason why I do that is because your question is helpful for other people, okay? If it's just about you, that's not really helpful for other people, okay? We want to try and keep semi-personal and general questions so that many people benefit from the questions that you ask, okay? So let's try and keep other people in mind, not yourself. That, again, is where private sessions come in, all right? And that's the same thing with Janine tomorrow, so please remember that. Okay, so let's go up the list here a little bit. So the question here is, okay, I've already answered this question the previous week. So Ivy, I know we had this question about Trudeau or Castro Jr. Now, I just want you to tune into last week's New Earth Tarot, okay? Because I answered this question, okay? So I'm not going to go too much into it. What I will say is that this is not Trudeau. This is an avatar, okay? This is a body double. This is a doppelganger. And guys, really, the funny thing, I was walking through a shopping mall yesterday, and they had the big screens up, and they were looking. I was looking at a CNN broadcast, and they were just talking about politics, and I think what it was, something about the Church of England was not willing to accept gay marriage, but will be accepting of same-sex couples. And what in the hell is this crap? People are actually believing this nonsense, this stupidity that they're seeing on TV. Is like, I don't watch TV, right? I have a TV, but I use it for like YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that, but I don't have any cable whatsoever. So when I tune into this and I'm just looking at this, I was like on the way, like walking through the food court, going to the washroom, and I just see this thing on there. It's like, all these politicians acting so big, and so, oh yeah, we can't welcome gay marriage. And I said, what is this stuff? What is this? This is a soap opera, guys. This is a 3-ring circus. People actually believe this crap that we're looking at. It just, I couldn't stop laughing. I was just looking at the stuff. I saw like the flash, below, gay marriage, Church of England, blah, 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 blah. I was just laughing my butt off. I can't believe people watch this stuff. I can't believe it. It's worse than the Days of Our Lives soap opera. Guys, none of that's real. None of it's real. It's a show. It's a 3-ring circus. You might as well go to Cirque du Soleil and start watching that. That's more real than what you see on that boob tube, right? Oh, I got such a laugh out of that yesterday. I said, oh my God, I can't believe people are still watching this stuff. This is unbelievable. It's a clown show. They might as well have a red nose on their face and start honking their nose, right? And start piling out the back of a Pinto, right? The politicians in a Pinto, right? Start piling out of it, right? Start doing acrobatics and cartwheels. Start getting hit with cream pies. It's the same thing. It's nothing but a circus. It's nothing but a 3-ring circus, nothing but a soap opera. None of it's real. And I just looked at it for like 10 seconds. It's like, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. How does anybody believe in this stuff? It's like looking at a soap opera and thinking it's real. It's such garbage, right? And that's like the first time I've looked at TV on cable for, I don't know how long, quite some time. But anyways, in regards to Trudeau, in regards to Castro, like I said, I talked about this last week. So it is on last week's New Earth Tarot. So I suggest just go to my YouTube channel and look up last week's New Earth Tarot, and you go to the questions area, right? It's in the broadcast. I haven't really been able to look at chapters yet, but it is one of the questions that I favored. So in a brief sum up, he's playing a part. He's playing part of the narrative, okay? It's a narrative that his doppelganger is playing. And they're basically writing the script to phasing him out. Like I said, guys, it's a soap opera. So here's a character. And they're writing him out of the script, bit by bit, bit by bit. So he's just playing a role. He has no authority at all, guys. Everybody you see on that television has no genuine authority at all. They are nothing but doppelgangers. They are nothing but actors. They have nothing but on-screen presence. Okay? It's like actors on a soap opera. They're reading off a script. No authority whatsoever. Okay? If you think that you're seeing authority figures on that screen, you're not. Okay? Actors. Plain and simple. So he's being phased out relating to his narrative. And it feels like someone will be taking over very, very soon. But again, I talk about this in last week's broadcast. Okay? So please check it out. That's what I would suggest. Rather than me just repeating the same thing as I talked about last week. Thank you, Ivy. Okay, so this one here is from Nguyen. Question, hi Brad, do EMS or TENS massage have negative effects on human body and spirituality? I don't really know what you mean with TENS or what TENS is. Nguyen, can you email me back that or just message me on the chat? I don't really know what TENS is, okay? Or you may have to just elaborate on that question a little bit more, okay? But you had another question down here. Can we move beyond our fate that is determined by our birth date, time, and location? Astrology. Guys, astrology doesn't determine your fate, okay? You have to remember that astrology is an externalization, okay? It's like a gauge. Astrology is a gauge. It's not saying, oh my goodness, you're doomed. As soon as you hit 75 years old, well, then you've kicked the bucket, okay? I know quite a few astrologers, and they have never really been able to predict a person's death when it comes to a chart, okay? That is extremely difficult to do, even when I've looked at astrology, where people feel that they can and try to prove that a person can die at this particular time. It's not always the case, okay? Astrology is not a doomsday fate-based science, okay? That's not the nature of it. If you're looking at it in that way, that's not what it's for, okay? Astrology is a gauge. It's an externalized gauge of yourself. So when you're looking at who you are, right, looking at your true nature in that sense, everything that comes into this continuum acts as a gauge. And the science of astrology works together with understanding that gauge pertaining to planetary alignments, to lunar alignments, right, to how everything fits together, pertaining to a cosmic blueprint of yourself. So it's an externalized cosmic blueprint, right? That's the nature of astrology. It is in no way trying to forecast doom and gloom for you, okay? Guys, even when we have retrogrades, even in our chart, it doesn't mean it's a doom and gloom period for you. It just means that this is a time of contraction, okay? It's a time for you to look into yourself, because actually a lot of things are going to start coming up into your life that you can now look at, and once you catch them, you can resolve them, so that when another contraction period like that comes, it will not be so intense. You're cleaning it all out, okay? So astrology is not a fate science. It doesn't work that way. It is very much in that sense attempting to give a descriptive science relating to the gauge that we see on a planetary level, okay? Remember what I've said, guys. Solar systems are farms, okay? They're gardens, they're farms. Everything representing how the planets are aligned, how they move, when they go into retrograde, when they go into mutual combustion, okay? When they go into these trines or squares and all these things that we talk about in astrology. This is intentional, okay? Everything is planned out on an engineered level, a cosmic engineering level for the farms here, so that life itself can evolve. So they're going to go through expansive times, and they're going to go through contracting times, expansive times, contracting times. And it's for every single soul on this planet to experience that. But that's the purpose of solar systems. Solar systems are not a natural phenomenon, okay? They're farms. That's what they are. Everything that aligns together through the sun, to the planets, of how they orient each other, of how they orbit around each other, of how they interact with each other, is all intentional. It is an advanced science that humanity does not yet understand and will not yet understand until we become a cosmic race, okay? When we're a cosmic race, we will understand a greater science about actually how to develop star systems, how to actually manage farms, because it's a sacred science to it. So by not being natural, what I mean is that this is not something that's naturally produced throughout the cosmos. It requires engineering, okay? So there's cosmic engineers that are putting these planets in place and having them orient together in the science of magnetics. Because all astrology is that. It's a science of magnetics. It's a science of life force energy. It's a science of alignments, okay? That's all it is. It has nothing to do with doomsday prophecy. It has nothing to do with, oh my God, I'm fated here, and astrology says I'm going to die here in 2 weeks. No. I've never met an astrologer who could do that, okay? And that's not what astrology is about, okay? So Nguyen, there's some misinformation relating to astrology, okay? So looking into character and behavior, yes, you can, but that doesn't mean that that's going to predict you being, you're going to croak next week. or anything of that nature, right? It gives you certain characteristics. There's certain things astrology doesn't cover, right? There's a greater depth to yourself that no real science can do. And that really represents the science of surrender, okay? There's no system for that. So again, it helps on a certain level to understand certain characteristics and certain behaviors. But again, alignments are happening all the time, and there's shifts happening all the time. So unless you're a really deeply experienced astrologer, it's going to take you quite some time before you truly understand the characteristics and behavior of yourself and others who you decide to read. It's a lifetime commitment, it certainly is. Okay, but again, we want to let go of this idea that astrology is some fate-based system that's trying to predict when you're going to die, because that's not what it's about. Okay, thank you for your question. Okay. Okay, here's a good one here from Magdalena. Magdalena says, hi Brad, when we get sick and catch a cold, do we clear our old programs and past life programs? Thank you. Well, this is interesting, Magdalena, because I'm actually going to do a video on this about the nature of trauma, okay, about the nature of suffering. Okay. Now here's the very important thing that we have to understand, and I'm giving you guys kind of a sneak preview of the video that I'm going to create. Okay, suffering is never a natural phenomenon. Okay, when you suffer, that is never built into you. You do not build in suffering to yourself. It's not something that's built in. Okay, it's something that's influenced. Suffering is an external influence. That's all it is. It is not something you're born with. It's not something you carry with you. It is the result of an external influence. Okay? And what happens is we adopt suffering. No more different than how you're adopting a dog, how you're adopting a cat. Okay? You're adopting pain. You're adopting suffering. You're adopting struggle. When we're children, we do not have the wherewithal to discern about how we're living through life, right? So we absorb everything like a sponge. That's just what a child does. Just absorbs. So we have parents who may be quite dysfunctional on physical, mental, and emotional levels, and we're absorbing all of that prana, okay? Guys, there's no such thing as heredity. It's all magnetics, okay? Everything pertaining to how you look, how you appear, is through sympathetic resonance, okay? It's all through sympathetic resonance, and as we're newborns, we're absorbing all these things. We don't even really have a conscious self quite developed yet, okay? But we're absorbing everything. We're absorbing the blueprints of the mother, we're absorbing the blueprints of the father, and we're coming into birth, because that's the palette that we play with. And as we start to get older, we're absorbing everything within our environment. It's all absorption. Everything's all absorption. Everything's all magnetics, okay? It's not until you get into a certain age, when you start getting to around those teenage years, right? When you start maybe getting to around 14 years old to 21 years old, that's when we start to get into the optimal time to discern. And then we get past 21 years old, and then we start moving into advanced levels of discernment, okay? So the whole idea here is that we're absorbing everything. It's kind of like I'm looking at you as a big sponge. We have all this dirty water. We have this dirty muck, right? And we're soaking it all up. We're absorbing it all up. So it's absorption, okay? Absorption is not what you have come here with. What you have come here with is your own source. That's who you are. So everything that you have ever absorbed in life can be wrung out. Every single thing. The only thing you cannot rub out is your source, because that's not changeable. Okay? So everything pertaining to struggle, to suffering, to conflict, to ridicule, to traumas, to emotional hardships, everything, all of those are changeable. Your behavior is changeable if you're willing to change it. Many people don't want to change it because they feel it's a very, very deep program, but it's still a program. Okay? We are able to completely, fundamentally reverse everything that represents struggle, suffering, trauma, conflict of any sort, because it's nothing but absorption. It's been absorbed into us. And again, if we're seeing ourselves as a sponge, this is basically what's happened. We have not been able to take ourselves through the ringer and wring ourselves out. We haven't done it. And so what happens when that dirty sponge remains is it starts to get festered with this filth. It starts to get all this encrusted filth upon itself because you haven't wrung yourself out. And to wring yourself out comes through the idea of surrender. It comes through a lot of the techniques that I've been teaching you guys now for quite some time. Okay? So this is the important thing to remember. And it's a very good question here that you have here, Magdalena. It's very synchronistic with the video I'm about to create. Like I said, I'm just kind of giving you an elevator version of what it's like because I am going to be talking about this much more in detail. Because when you guys realize that suffering is only a temporary means of absorption, you will know how to completely wring yourself out. You will know how to let go of that frequency. All absorption is the bringing in. It is the attraction of frequency that you are absorbing into yourself, absorbing into your matrix. Okay? And we're wringing out the matrix. We're cleaning out the cache. Okay? That's what I teach you guys to do, so that you never have to suffer again. Suffering is an unnatural phenomenon. It does not follow you. Okay? It's just something that is being absorbed. It's absorbed by ignorance. It's the best way we can put it. Absorbed by ignorance. Now again, a child will do it because they're ignorant of everything that represents this world. They're very fresh to it. They don't know how to discern. They don't know how to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. All right, this is not right for me. Okay, they haven't reached that certain level yet. And this is what we all come onto this planet and we face, right? It's pretty much a given that we have to come into this world and we get absorbed with the dirtiness of this artificial systems, of this survival program. I don't call it life because it's not life. It's a survival program within life, but it's a very dirty survival program, and we have to get drenched with it. Very few of us basically are able to come out of this unscathed. But again, everything is temporary. Everything can be wrung out. It can be put through the wringer and it can be cleaned out. So more on that later as I do this new video to come. All right. Thank you, Magdalena. So when you're catching a cold and when you're sick and all that, yeah, all of that represents despair in the body. It's the body saying something is not functioning. You're working too hard, you're overworking, you're overstimulated, okay? Common thing pertaining to a cough, to a cold, is that you're running too much, you're doing too much, okay? So you're being too psychosomatic. You're overly tense, you're overly flustered, you're overly stressed out. Okay, you're thinking too much. You've burned out your body. And it says, hey, we need to catch up here. We need to relax. And so a cold is often manifested to try and calm the body down because it's been worked too much. You've been pushing it off too much into the red. That is what we call a psychosomatic condition. Now, again, there's the other side of the coin, which represents somatic conditions, where we're depressed, where we don't want to do enough, where we're sluggish. And that too can represent certain forms of illnesses. Hypothyroidism, okay, pneumonia can get into that. Acute states of depression, acute states of even suicidal tendencies as well too. Heart problems, right? Heart murmurs. So that too has an effect. So somatic, which is like the cold, psychosomatic, which is like the hot. Remember that we have two nadi channels right here. You have the Ida, which represents the moon channel. You have the Pingala, which represents the solar channel, right? The cold, the hot. So again, when we're running too hot, we're running too cold, the body goes into a particular type of emergency mode where we need to have a type of illness to help balance ourselves out. Because either we're being too stagnant or we're being too overactive. We're being too underactive or we're being too overactive. And the body has preparation cycles to help counter that. And that often comes through illness. Okay? So again, guys, yes, it's very important. We have to rein this out. Like, I know a lot of you guys come on here because you want to talk about politics and you want to talk about money and you want to talk about the world and events. And in all honesty, guys, that's nowhere near as important as you looking after yourselves. Okay? And I know I've said that very, very much, very often, but I'm telling you that, guys, because it's the truth, right? And nothing is more important than working with yourselves, taking care of yourselves, and then spreading that wisdom, spreading that knowledge to others so that they can get the message as well too, rather than just running the rat race all the time and getting yourselves sick. Okay, so let's bear that in mind. So Magdalena, thank you for your question. It's a very good one. Okay, All right, so here's one from Annalie. Annalie says, question, a man in Sweden wants us now to test the vaccines on babies. Will he make it? I'm not too sure what you mean by will he make it. I'm not too sure if this is again where, guys, I need a little bit more detail about this. I'm not too sure if you're talking about a politician. I'm not too sure if you're talking about a doctor, a public relations worker, or anything in that way, Annalie. Okay, but let's take a look at this and saying that, let's just say, for example, that this person, if he's talking about this, obviously the word is getting around, so he's obviously some type of public figure. Okay, so will this come into law? Okay, why don't we look at it in this way? So will that idea of testing vaccines on babies, will that come into law? All right, let's take a look at that for Sweden. See what we get. No, definitely not. It will not be coming into law, okay? So these are more so perspectives that are coming through, right? People who are, again, ultimately confused. It may even be in the idea that there may be some misrepresentation to what this person's even trying to say, or what they're trying to convey in that way. It doesn't feel like what they're even saying is legitimate in any way. So this feels like something that's more of a slander campaign than anything else. An attempt maybe to try and put that out there, but it's going to be shot down completely. Okay, so this may also represent dark cabal tendencies as well too. Okay, but I feel like whatever's attempting to be conveyed is not being conveyed properly, and it feels like it's just going to be shot down. Okay, because I'm not seeing anything like that coming into Sweden about them testing vaccinations on babies. Okay, that certainly would be a dark cabal ploy. Okay, but from what I'm seeing here, especially with the Fool card, no, it's not going to see the light of day. Okay, it is going to be bypassed. And you would have millions and millions of angry parents. You'd have just millions and millions of people angry in general if they even ever tried to consider doing that. Okay, so it is most certainly going to be shot down. But it certainly sounds like the rumblings of a dark cabal ploy. Okay, but it's not going to see the light of day, not for what I'm seeing here. All right, so thank you, Annalie, for your question. Okay. Okay, this is from Carol Ann. Carol Ann says, hi, Brad. I have a question, please. I keep hearing about another pandemic around August, September, October timeline. Okay, so another global pandemic. I know, I've heard about it too. Okay, and is this going to happen, right? Is there another pandemic planned? Are we going to see another global pandemic coming around this fall, 2023? Let's take a look. I'm just going to let the cards speak for this one. You guys, I'm not getting any sign of another pandemic coming, okay? So I know there's a lot of people talking about it, but I think the world has really matured past a pandemic stage. Now, it's not to say that Dark Cabal hasn't had plans in case this pandemic fails, they're going to try and do another one. They've been trying, guys. Why do you think we've had so many variants of the COVID? Why do you think we've had monkeypox, right? So we've had a lot of different types of viruses where they've been trying to spring that again. Right. Okay, COVID's dying down. Oh, let's get some variants out there. How long did the variants last, guys? Not very long. Fizzled out pretty quick. Oh, there's monkeypox. Let's get monkeypox out there. How long did that last, guys? Kind of fizzled out a little bit. Do you know why? Because the world is starting to mature and isn't really buying this whole global pandemic stuff anymore. It's not really going to recycle itself. So my feeling is that there's much more of an evaluation period relating to the pandemic. I think there's going to be evaluations with it. I think there's going to be a deeper introspection with the idea of the pandemic. This is a grace year, guys. This is a year of grace. It's not to say that there's not going to be investigations. It's not to say that there's going to be accountabilities, maybe even trials coming forward, deeper reviews about this, deeper talks about this. But as far as a global pandemic, as of right now, I'm not seeing anything of that nature, okay? So whatever there was a plan, it's either been completely kiboshed, it's completely delayed, or it's just not happening, okay? And I've looked into this before, a while ago, and asked about, a lot of people are talking about another pandemic coming, that there's supposed to be another one coming around the fall time of 2023, and is this happening? And I was even pulling cards as well too, and I pretty much got the same answer as I did today, okay? No, not really. So reviews of pandemics, introspection of pandemic, talking of pandemic, right? Maybe looking into some greater depths pertaining to how this agenda came about, but nothing in regards to what I'm seeing. Even if they're attempting a pandemic at that time, which they may try to, I feel it will be no more different than how they were trying to do the variants of COVID and how they were trying to do the monkeypox. It's just going to fizzle out, okay? So I think the world has grown from that. I know some astrologers are talking about that as well too. Are saying that it looks like we're going to see another pandemic, guys. I'm kind of shaking my head. Sorry, guys, we're not. It's not what I'm getting at all. So, and I'm not saying this to give you guys hopium, okay? I'm just basically reading what the cards are telling me here. And even when I'm getting my intuition, I said, no, we're pretty much past that point now where they can't really use a pandemic anymore. If they try to shut something down, it needs to be of a completely new orientation, right? It needs to be of a new agenda that has not been tried again, right? It's like the idea when 9/11 happened. They're not trying to repeat the same thing year after year. It just didn't work, right? They had a one-shot deal with this. And if that pandemic does not work out, it fizzles out, the collective consciousness becomes immune from it, okay? You cannot keep using the same thing twice. It doesn't work that way. You can't stand in the same river twice, okay? As the ancients will tell you. So if there is another scheme, if there is another plan, it's something completely different. It's not something in regards to a pandemic. It may be something else, and that could happen, okay? But as far as a global pandemic shutdown in the fall time or late summer of 2023, I am not getting that at all, okay? That's just how it's happening right now. I'm not saying that other things won't happen, but as far as that goes, that's not what I'm getting whatsoever. And I'm just telling you what the cards are telling me, okay? And even what my intuition is telling you guys as well too. So that's my answer, Carolyn. Take it or leave it. It's up to you guys. You guys have to discover your own truth as well too. I'm only giving perspective here, okay? I'm not giving carvings written in granite, right? Okay, this one here is from Grow. Grow says, right now it's completely quiet, but every day and night, otherwise I hear a metallic hissing. Is this coming from Harp 5G? When will this stop? Well, a metallic hissing, let's take a look. I'm not sure if you're feeling that yourself or if other people are hearing this or other people hearing a metallic hissing. Now you have to understand that HARP and 5G, a lot of those particular types of technologies have been seized by the counterforces, okay? But what we'll do is we'll take a look at a metallic hissing, okay? So Grow, as you're talking about this, as you feel that you hear a metallic hissing, I'm not too sure if you're the only person hearing this or if there's other people who are hearing what you're hearing. So again, that's not alluded to in your question here. But let's take a look at the nature behind the metallic hissing. Does the metallic hissing have some reflection, some connection to HARP or electromagnetic frequencies? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, whatever this is, I'm not getting that it's anything bad. Okay, I'm not getting anything in regards to any negative cards here pertaining to a metallic hissing, okay? Or if it's linked to something bad, if it's linked to something harmful, okay? That's not what I'm getting at all. So you may be hearing something in that particular way, but it's not something harmful. It's not something that's going to hurt you. It's not something that's going to be detrimental to your health, okay? Looks like there's a clear bill of health. Whatever it is you're hearing, it's harmless, okay? So I can't tell, like I said, I don't know if this is something you're just hearing yourself or if other people are hearing this in that sense, but whatever the metallic hissing it is, it's not something that's dangerous to your health, okay? That's basically what I can comment on regarding that. I would need a little more detail from you in regards to what this is. Where did you hear it? Have other people heard it? Where are you? Do you go outside and do you hear this? Is it coming from inside your place? Right, a little bit more details on this. But from what I feel altogether, the metallic hissing is not harming you in any way. Okay? Thank you for your question. All right. Okay, this one here is from Victoria. Victoria says, hello, will there be an extraterrestrial disclosure this year? All right. So why don't we take a look at ET disclosure? Is there meant to be an ET disclosure here in 2023? Let's take a look. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let the cards do the talking. All right. Best way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a circle of 9 spread for this one. So this is where I'm using 9 different cards, and we'll take a look at a spread here pertaining to the recent past, the beginning of 2023, our present moment, and looking more towards the end of the year, okay, for ET disclosure, as it's a big topic. So let's take a look. Okay, so is there meant to be an extraterrestrial disclosure of some sorts for 2023? So the recent past is that there certainly has been build-up, okay? There's been some build-up relating to that, but again, it's just a matter of being able to get the kind of news that we can handle at this particular point, because the whole idea of extraterrestrial disclosure is very sanitized. What they've really been doing is they've been using news reports, they've been declassifying certain forms of government files and documents, okay? So they've been trying to do soft disclosure for quite some time, not just through 2023 or 2022. They've been doing it now for a few years. In fact, when COVID-19 started, okay, there was a lot of talk about, what guys, like the CIA and the FBI are already admitting that ETs exist. And everybody's like this, yeah, who cares? Right? And they're showing these really big files about extraterrestrial spacecraft and sightings, and they're getting all this declassified documents out. People's like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a crap. Like, guys, we're just like getting pretty much admitting that the government is admitting that ETs exist. Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a crap. Oh, COVID this and COVID that and COVID this and COVID that. Okay? It got a very apathetic response. Okay? You think, oh my God, they're actually admitting that ETs are real. And I don't care. It's COVID. Right? I remember that as well too, where they're really bringing out some very strong evidence of documents supporting extraterrestrial life. Nobody gave a crap. You heard crickets in the background because they were so heavily depressed with COVID, right? So that's really what our recent past has shown. Like, guys, we've gotten this information. We've already received information that extraterrestrial life exists. It's already been proven. It's already been admitted by governments. I don't care. COVID. Ugh. Okay? That's been our reaction. It's already happened. Okay? So it's already been the idea that this has already manifested itself. This has already brought itself into the public eye. Guys, you can go into the CIA and FBI classified documents and you can find some very, very interesting discoveries about ETs, about them pretty much admitting it. No one gave a crap. Okay? Because they were so worried about lockdown. They were so worried about COVID. They were so worried about their futures, about what would happen. Nobody really cared. Okay? So, yes, it's already out there. Like, disclosure has already happened. It's already a done deal. People are already aware that other civilizations exist. But it was met with crickets because of the whole scamdemic. Okay? The near future. Yeah, there's still going to be some more info pouring in. We're still going to have more info, probably some more declassified documents, possibly some more news reports. As far as sightings go, I don't think so. But in regards to more and more admittance that ETs exist, yeah, totally. They're not, again, flat. It's not being flashed right in front of your face. You have to kind of dig for it a little bit. But again, if you dig for it, you're going to discover it. I mean, guys, it's kind of obvious, right? It's pretty obvious that we have off-worlders, that we have star family watching our backs all the time, working with us. There's a lot of them on the planet here. When I channeled Adronis, Adronis would always call them Incognito ETs, right? We have star family mixed in with the population, okay? A lot of the people that you see walking down the street are basically off-worlders, okay? So they're not always in the idea of, oh, they're still above the clouds, they're hidden in pocket dimensions, they're on their ships. No, guys, they are here. They're here with you, okay? They're walking around, particularly around the major population centers of the planet. You'll probably have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of them walking around the streets, and you would not even know it, okay? And I've talked about this extensively for years with incognitos, okay? And they're here, and they're in different branches of government as well too. It's exactly why there's counterforces, okay? There have been some of those particular beings that have been not so good. They've been much more regressive, okay? A lot of those ones are being filtered out, and the ones that are remaining are the ones that are helping out with this cause right now. So they're very much, and I think I'll look into a reading with that after. If you guys don't believe me, I will do a reading right after this one, talking to you guys about incognito ETs, okay? But that's basically what's been happening. They've already been saying, guys, we put this out there. We've put this out there, and we've been hiding it for quite some time, and now we're getting it out there. We're letting you know, yes, other civilizations exist. Yes, we've had contact with ETs for decades, for even hundreds of years, for even thousands of years. Ever since the dawn of man, there's been off-worlders working with us, right? Pretty much already saying it to us, right to our face. I would say almost right to our face with the documents that they have, okay? And they're here to help. They're aiding us a lot. This is why I talk about the off-world counterforces, the human guardians, right? And I try to explain that to Janine. She never gets that term right. So what do you call them, Brad? What do you call them? Human guardians. Yeah. She never gets it. So you're talking about the off-worlders in the star family. Human guardians, okay? So we'll probably talk about that tomorrow, I bet, her and I. So yeah, this is basically saying that this has already been a golden nugget that has already been exposed. We're pretty much already aware of it now. It's basically kind of a soft disclosure. It's kind of tucked back here, but it's not too hard to access. Okay, but it's already been discovered. We've already had extraterrestrial disclosure. We've already had dealings with off-world beings ever since our genesis of coming here on this planet. Okay, and they've been here even way before we came along. So they've been here for the longest, absolutely. And many of them are walking the streets. Many of them are just mingled around the population, and we don't even know it. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at next. Incognito extraterrestrials. Are we seeing a great majority of incognito ETs in major population centers around the world, here in secret? Okay, so we'll take a look at that right now. So let's take a look. So incognito ETs, are we seeing them all around the population centers, probably within the hundreds of thousands, that are just walking around with us day by day, and we don't even know it? Would this be correct? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Big time, big time, big time. Hundreds of thousands. Probably even millions. Okay? In secret, right? They're keeping themselves on low profile. Okay? They're not saying, hey guys, I'm from Andromeda. Hey guys, I'm from the Pleiades. Hey guys, I'm from Sirius. Hey guys, I'm from Arcturus. Hey guys, I'm from Alpha Centauri. Hey guys, I'm from Procyon. Right? No, they're not really doing that. They're keeping everything due, because if they let that cat out of the bag, there's going to be some panic here. Like, wait a minute. This dude over here just told me he's from Sirius. This dude told me over here he's from Canis Major. All right, what the hell's going on? So obviously they have to keep it low key. They have to keep it low key. Otherwise, there's going to be problems erupting here. But again, don't be surprised if you're walking around certain people and they're incognitos. Okay? It's very, very common, especially in the population centers. This is basically confirming it right here. Okay? Queen of Wands, but also represent the idea that they're kind of wearing the disguise. They're wearing the cloak here, right? So They're here to perform certain things. They're mingling in between the population. They're mingling with different branches of government. They're mingling with law enforcement. They're mingling with military. They're mingling with education, with all different types. In fact, a lot of these scientists that we have on the planet that are, exponentially gifted and highly intelligent, many of them are incognitos. Okay. There's actually been evidence of one particular scientist. I can't remember what the name of the person was or what the group was, but they basically had like a cone-shaped head, like a very, very long, elongated head and kind of bald at the top. And he was actually one of these grand like scientists in that way. And they've had like leaks online. This guy wearing glasses, a business suit, and kind of like a mullet, kind of bald at the top, but he had like a long kind of cone head. Okay. That's an example of an incognito, okay? But some of them, in that sense, they just basically, oh no, this person just has a defect or something like that. And in some ways it can be. But in other ways, in that sense, they can have some of these different things. You can notice that people may have like bigger eyes. You can almost look at some people that almost look feline, okay? They almost have like feline-like tendencies. You can actually look at kids that look like hybrids, okay? The big almond eyes and kind of like the bigger forehead and all that stuff. Those are very much hybrids. Okay, and so hybrids will come in, and that's another way of coming together. Now, Dolores Cannon talked about 3 waves of volunteers, and I was even talking to Julia Cannon about this, and I said, is it possible of a 4th wave? And I was telling her, because what I was discovering as well too, you could call it the 2nd phase of a 3rd wave, but I'm actually seeing more of a 4th wave coming in. The 4th wave represents hybrids. Okay, so basically what happens is these children are engineered inside the mother's womb when she's not aware of it. Okay, there's a lot of engineering taking place with a lot of these children that are coming out, and they basically have hybrid tendencies. They're actually very, very intelligent. They're able to talk with nature. They're incredibly highly psychic. Right? They're just your above average intelligent child. A lot of them are hybrids. Okay, so you're looking at off-worlders that look very much like us, and they're able to pass off as just walking down the street and you wouldn't even know it. Okay, there's others in that sense that maybe look a little bit different. They may have different types of shapes of lenses in their eyes, but they just wear contacts or anything of that nature, and they can pass off as human. Okay, so they may have some minute features. There's extraterrestrial civilizations that just have one giant lung. They don't have 2 lungs, they have one giant lung. There's some of them that have 2 hearts. Okay, so there's different ones here. Their bone structure is much more dense than ours. They may have deeper cellular coating than we do. So there's just some of these things. Some of them actually have 3 strands of DNA instead of 2. There's just these things that we can notice. So guys, I could talk to you all day about incognito extraterrestrials. I've talked about it for years. Okay, they're very much among us. They're very much here within the hundreds of thousands or even the millions. They're walking around you every single day and you don't even know it. Okay, and that's how good they are. They can pass off as a human because they're very advanced on a mind level. Okay, so some food for thought for you guys to look into. Okay, so that just goes into the big extraterrestrial disclosure question. All right, thank you, Victoria, for your question. Okay, let's go down here a little bit more. I think I'm probably going to just start describing an extraterrestrial discussion group here, right? So I think we'll probably have some ET discussion and hybrid discussion. That's great. And I love those kind of discussions, guys. That's how I got into all this in the first place, guys. How I got into all of this was because of extraterrestrials, right? I was writing a book. I was writing a science fiction novel. And I wanted to make it as real as possible regarding the extraterrestrial presence. And I started studying. I started looking into all these things. And this is what brought me into where I am now. It was because of that book that I wanted to write that I'm here with you guys right now. So I put the book aside. I started learning how to meditate. I started learning about energy healing. I started learning about channeling. I started learning about mediumship. I started learning about remote viewing. I started learning about astrology. I started learning about magic. Okay, I looked into all these different things, into the arts of yoga, into the way of yoga. Right? It just kept growing and growing and growing and festering and expanding and expanding and expanding. And here I am now. Right? But it all started with ETs. And I'm always grateful for that. Okay. All right, let me take a look here and just go down the list here a bit more. Okay, so we're getting a few good questions here, so let me just see if I can find a good one. Okay, Anders says, what is the real purpose of the Great Reset for the World Economic Forum? Well, basically we have to understand that all of their plans are basically kiboshed. They're just part of the narrative, right? Their plans are not going to come to fruition. But a lot of what they were planning to do was basically take away any form of you owning any form of property whatsoever. That you would have no property to own. That basically you basically just have government funds. Everything will be government funded. Everything you're basically renting from the government or borrowing from the government. Basically trying to make everybody non-binary. Okay, that there's no male, there's no female, there's just non-binary, right? Universal or unisex or anything of that particular nature. Basically just trying to make the entire world flavorless. I'd say that's the best way to put it. It's like looking at a very bleak, monochrome, 1984-like world. That's exactly what they were trying to do, right? George Orwell was very much in the know. He knew these things were coming. He knew these things were planned. He knew these things were being schemed about. And he wrote about it in the forms of his not really fictional books, okay? So that's really what their whole plan was about. It was about the idea of seizing the entire planet, and they would own everything, and they would own people, right? And you would have absolutely no freedoms whatsoever, and just the very few would be on top of the ladder and running everything. That's really been their big scheme, but it's not coming about. That's the good news, okay? A lot of it right now is a narrative, and they're using this narrative particularly for the WEF to basically expose them so that people can see what kind of twisted Dr. Evil-like plans that they have had. And they're basically just being pummeled and plummeted. Like, nobody really buys into their stuff. Hardly anybody with any common sense, I would say, buys into their narrative whatsoever. They just say these guys are nothing but psychopaths, right? And you're just watching more and more of their efforts plummeting. And they're just continuing to expose themselves more and more about what they're trying to do and how they're trying to control everything. And nobody is buying into them, right? They're basically losing any form of credibility if they even had it, okay? So, yeah, it's not really something that is ever going to come to pass. It's just playing with a three-ring circus narrative, and that's about it, okay? Thank you, Anders. Okay, here's an interesting question here from Terry Freeman. Terry says, most of the 5G towers are off around southern Missouri. Are they going to use these 5G towers for a type of medical healing towers? Okay, so let's take a look at that. Can 5G be used for healing? Can it be used for benefits? Can it be used on a beneficial level, not just in Missouri, but just basically looking at 5G towers in example? Can they be turned around to actually be used as a healing technology that can actually aid the Earth rather than hurt it? Okay, so let's take a look at that. Can 5G towers be turned around to actually act as a healing technology instead of a bombarding technology of harm? Another yes. Okay. They most certainly can be turned around. And I think that's certainly the plan right now. Okay, so if some of them are being turned off right now, wouldn't surprise me if they're getting some type of maintenance on it. I'm not too sure if they're going to turn it into healing technology, but they may turn it into a harmless technology. Okay, 5G technology has the ability to be reconfigured so that its frequencies do not bombard the human brain, right? Not using low frequencies, not hurting animal life or anything of that nature. So they would just basically have to readjust the frequencies, and they may put different forms of technologies into it to actually render it as harmless. So they're looking to restore peace relating to these towers that were originally meant to cause harm. So Terry, your question here is answered yes. Okay, so that's a big time yes for you, Terry. Okay? I've looked into this in the past as well too, relating to 5G towers. And I was asking, well, what are these agendas? Are they trying to kill off the entire people with these towers? And the answer is no. This is actually going to be used into something very positive. In time, and that's the key phrase here, in time, they're going to be completely re-instigating all of these towers to either be harmless or helpful to the environment. Okay? So again, guys, I'm only giving you a perspective here. You guys have to do your own research. You have to look inside yourself for this. But I'm just giving you a perspective that they are canceling out any harsh intentions that the 5G towers once had. It's the exact same thing as I've talked about with chemtrails. Okay? And again, it's just my perspective. You guys have to discover your truth for yourself. But this is basically what I'm getting here from the cards, directly from the horse's mouth, is that they're attempting to restore peace. They're attempting to rebuild them in a way that will be either harmless or helpful. Harmless or helpful to the planet. Okay? Not destructive. So that's what they're basically trying to do. So they're not going to tear down the 5G technology. They're going to overhaul it. They're going to reinitialize it into either something that's harmless or helpful. Okay? So this is just a big confirmation right here. Whenever we get an ace, guys, that's a confirmation. That is a confirmation to Terry's question here. Okay? Is it going to be turned into some type of medical healing towers? Yes. Okay? So if it's not medical healing towers, at least it's going to be harmless towers. So that's what they're planning to do bit by bit. It's going to take some time. This is why I say in time this will take place. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm not saying next week. Okay? But in time, that's what they're planning to do. Is basically transform the 5G towers into something that can either be harmless or beneficial to the planet. They have the ability to do that. Okay? Thank you for your question. Oh, Brad, you're so positive again. Here I'm just waiting for those responses again. Oh, Brad, you're so positive. Like I said, guys, I'm just giving perspective. What's most important is what you get. Okay? What you discover for yourselves. Okay. Vegan Vixen says, question, will we see new dentistry technology soon? Seems to be a lot of topics around dentistry lately. So why don't we take a look at that? Let's take a look at some new technology. Is there some technology available for dentistry soon? So I can basically say yes, but let's see what the tarot says here. Right, so new dentistry technology. Is it around the corner? Yeah, but it's going to take a little bit of time, okay? So the feeling is that the gears are going to get switched. There is going to be, right, the exchanging of water in the one cup to the other, okay? But I think there needs to be some introspection with it. I think there needs to be some evaluation with it, right? I think there needs to be some ideas of some new cutting-edge ideas, new cutting-edge technologies pertaining to like dentistry forms, right? When we're looking into the science of dentistry in that sense, there may be new opportunities, maybe new people coming forward about new advanced technologies that don't involve a bunch of drills, that don't involve stabbing a root to death through root canals, and a bunch of archaic Neanderthal-based technology that dentists use, because all the technology that you get from a traditional dentist is something out of the Stone Age. Okay, it's a torture chamber. They might as well just be strapping you to a seat and duct taping you down and getting you to drink fluoride drinks, right? Fluoride mixtures, and basically trying to drill holes into your teeth and put metal implants in there, right? This is the traditional dentist I'm talking about. And so a lot of that is looking to be phased out. Yes, okay. Do we have a time period? I think we may start to see some strides towards that this year, okay? We may start to see some introductions to new technologies and on many different levels. And I think one of them will also include dentistry. You can basically work together with lasers, okay? Dentistry can basically be taken care of using laser technology, okay, where it doesn't hurt one bit. You can either put something like an apparatus in someone's mouth, kind of like a, what do you call those things? I forget the name of them now. But basically, you're just putting them in the mouth, kind of like a tooth holder. I don't even know what it's called. It's kind of like what athletes wear, right? The little dental dams, whatever they call them. The name of it escapes me right now. But you can basically put these apparatuses in the mouth, and you can work together with sound waves. You can work together with lasers. And it's painless dentistry. Okay? So I'm hoping that's what they bring out. Okay? Because you can do this with sound waves. You can do this with lasers. To completely repair a tooth. To completely repair the nerve. Okay? To repair cavities. Okay? We can use composites. That's fine. But basically to completely eliminate any form of infections within the gums, to actually realign the teeth. If your teeth are bent, if your teeth are crooked, we can do that with sound technology. We can do that with frequency bombardment. Okay? We can use certain forms of technology, apparatus, just all around the teeth, right? So you're basically using those dental holders, in the best way I can put it. I really don't remember what they're called. But you're just putting them in there, and they can even blast a frequency, or they can use other forms of external apparatus, and they're using sound waves. And that will actually help to realign the teeth so that they're not crooked anymore. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we can be doing relating to greater advances where there's painless dentistry. We need to put away the butcher's knives, we need to put away the dentist drills, we need to put away stabbing a person's root to death because they need a root canal with all that stupidness. Okay, guys? Root canal is one of the stupidest things there is. I had it as a teenager. I had a root canal when I was a teenager as well, too. And it was almost like 2 hours of torture. It's like they're just taking a little dagger. Let's stab the nerve. Let's kill it. Let's kill it. Let's kill the nerve. Let's kill the nerve. Let's kill the nerve. Like, what is this barbarism? What is this stupidity? Okay? It's idiotic science. To say it's pseudoscience is too nice. Okay? Dentistry, I've never liked. Okay? Of course, I've had to go to the dentist at times, and that's fine. But the way that they carry on with their ridiculous, archaic, Neanderthal-based technology is a joke. Okay? So we have the ability to move into something much greater, completely painless dentistry using sound waves, using sound, okay, using lasers. We have the ability to make painless dentistry a possibility. But of course, there needs to be lucrative nature with it, right? So hopefully this year, and it looks like in the cards that we may see something unfold this year for something relating to new dentistry that can be painless. Okay? So that certainly is in the works. And I feel like something could happen this year with that. So very good. Thank you for your question, Terry. Other than it's not Terry, it was somebody else. I'm not too sure who it was. I think I lost him in the chat. But thank you for whoever it was that asked that question. Okay. Let's go down the list a bit more. Okay. Okay, this is not really a question, it's more of a comment. It's from Black Afternoon. He says, I have ringing ears 24/7. I'm hoping by stretching my neck I can fix it. Look up videos to stop ringing in ears and show many ways to target areas of the face and the neck. Okay, a lot of that is tinnitus, Black Afternoon. Okay, now again, tinnitus can be healed. So what I would suggest you do is you go to AetherX.co and you download the free trial symbol. Okay, because that takes care of it. Okay. Another thing you can do is you work with mullein garlic oil. M-U-L-L-E-I-N. Mullein garlic oil. Okay, it's little dropper. You can get them on Amazon. Okay, and you basically just put about 2 to 3 drops in each ear and just keep doing that daily. Over time, the tinnitus will disappear. Okay, if it's constant ringing in the ears, guys, it's quite commonly a bacterial infection. Okay, when I'm talking about the idea of adjusting yourself, adjusting your magnetic field, getting downloads, okay, that should only really last a matter of seconds to maybe a couple of minutes. Okay, and I just got that this morning. I was getting my left ear buzzing. It only lasted for like a minute because I was actually getting a download at the same time. Sometimes I'll get it in my right ear and it'll buzz just for like a minute or so and then it'll fade away. Those are genuine alignment states of your magnetic field. Okay, that's working together with the pineal gland, that's working with brain functions, that's working with your energy field. When you're getting constant buzzing, constant ringing in the ears, often that is a bacterial infection. Okay, that is an inner ear infection, that is tinnitus. Okay, so if it doesn't stop ringing, that's tinnitus. If it's very, very short term, that can be, again, certain forms of adjustments, alignments, magnetic alignments, downloads, telepathy. There's different types you can get relating to ringing in the ears that are temporary and very short. Okay, so it can be telepathic messages. Okay, it can be alignments. It can be the alignments of your neurological pathways. When your neurons start moving, okay, your ears buzz. Okay, when you start getting activity from the pineal, from the pituitary, when you start sleeping at times, your ears buzz. Very, very short spurts. Okay, short spurts, don't worry about it. It's fine. Long 24/7 buzzing, you have an infection. Okay, so you want to work together with mullein garlic oil. You want to work with the free trial symbol, AetherX.co. You want to use the Healing Code Cards Body Deck Ears Enhancer. Okay, that works as well too. You can also work with a Brain Enhancer. That helps as well too. Okay, Bacteria Eliminator. Okay, Virus Eliminator. We can work with those too. Those are also in the Body Deck. Okay, so just work with those if you're getting 24/7 buzzing. 24/7 buzzing means a problem. Okay, it's often an ear infection. It's often something with tinnitus. So you want to make sure you're taking care of that. But like I said, work with the things I suggest and you should be just fine. Okay. Okay, let me just take a look here. I'm just going down the list here, guys. How are we on time? Okay, I think we'll do one or two more questions and we're going to wrap up. So let me just go down the list a little bit further. Okay, Jane asked the question, can you ask the cards if traveling restrictions will happen in the UK? UK is actually in a very good place right now, so I don't think so, but let's take a look at that. Okay, because I was doing a really good reading on the UK last week, I think it was 2 weeks ago as well too, about immigration. Okay, the UK is really picking up pace and is really leading in a good example. Okay, so let's take a look and saying, is there going to be more travel restrictions coming back in the UK? So let's take a look. No, I'm not getting that at all. Okay, I'm not getting any feeling of travel restrictions coming back to the UK. Okay, everything that has represented that particular psyop is blowing up. Okay, so basically those who have tried to bring back restrictions in the UK are not going to succeed. Okay, feels like the UK is becoming a new staging ground for the counterforces. Okay, so that's not what I'm getting at all. So there may be discussions, there may be attempts. It's kind of like, you have this big firewall and you have these parasites trying to come in and knocking on it. And so there may be some attempts, there may still be some corruption, of course, within the United Kingdom government. But basically the counterforces are in charge there. So I'm not seeing anything in regards to another lockdown or restrictions of travel for the UK. That's just what I'm getting from the cards. I'm just telling you guys what the cards are telling me, okay? So I'm not getting that. I'm not seeing that happen with the UK whatsoever. So if there's attempts in that way, it's basically that there's some whispers in the ear, but that's not what's going to happen. Like I said, guys, don't always believe what you see in the three-ring circus that we call media. Okay, much better things are ahead for the UK in the times ahead. Okay, we're going to be seeing a lot of great things coming out of that space. Okay, all right, guys, one more question, then we're going to wrap up. All right. Okay, this one I think we'll end with. It's from G-Gig 19. Okay, there's another. Oh, Sunflower, thanks for your donation. From G-Gig 1954, question: when do you see the exposure of the organized religions that have been involved in SRA and trafficking? Okay, quite some time. Okay, because I've looked into things similar to this. We have a big scandal that needs to take place, and it's not something small, it's not something minute, it's not something local. Okay, the entire world has been infected with the idea of organized religions and SRA and trafficking for a very long time. Okay, you're talking about a gigantic beast here. Okay, and the beast is starting to get slayed. Okay, but I don't think we're going to see the complete and total dissolvement of those responsible until as we start going through the decade. Okay, this whole decade is going to lead to that kind of exposure. Okay, not just 2023. You basically have to look at everything from 2020 to 2029. Okay, there's going to be big scandals and taking down of that entire arena. So that is a very big beast that needs to be taken down, and it's not going to happen this year. Okay, I can guarantee you that. It's going to continue 2024, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So this entire year, this entire decade, I mean this year, is we're going to see more and more of that progression. But you're looking at something that is a decade-long takedown. It's going to take quite a bit of time. This is why I can't even really use the cards for it, because it's going to be projecting for quite some time. Okay, you're talking about an enormous beast. You're talking about something that has been built under our feet, that has been established for thousands of years, and it needs to be thoroughly taken down. Okay, There's so much of it. There's millions and millions of people on this planet that are responsible for that, for the maintaining of that. It's a big job. So this is why I say it's not something that you're going to see happen right away. So probably before we get to the end of this decade, we'll see a lot more of that getting dismantled and a lot more of that getting exposed. We got a long way to go before that is completely dismantled. Okay? That's what I can say about it. So let me see if I can end on a little bit more of a higher note here. Okay, there's something here about Linda Winger saying something about 15-minute cities being implemented. I saw someone say this morning that they are implementing it in Edmonton, or plan to. Something about 15-minute cities. Okay, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of 15-minute cities. Are you talking about cities that just get erected very, very quickly? I've never heard of 15-minute. Can anybody tell me what 15-minute cities mean? What does that mean? What's a 15-minute city? Can anybody tell me? Maybe I'm just getting the wrong idea. If I ask the cards of something like that about that idea, and I'm not too sure about what a 15-minute city is, then maybe I'm giving the wrong kind of reading here. Can anybody tell me what a 15-minute city is? Okay, let's see if we can find somebody who can tell me about that, just so I don't get the wrong idea with that reading. Okay, so maybe just give it a minute there. Okay. So Linda, maybe if you can talk about it, what is a 15-minute city? Right. Okay, drive radius, 15-minute city is real. Can't travel out of your area. Okay, drive radius. So it's basically an idea, okay. Confined to your city. Okay, I thought it was the idea maybe like a city is getting erected in 15 minutes. They got like some holographic technology for that. Locking us down into sections, restricted travel. Okay. So this is what Linda's saying. I've been hearing people talk about evils. That's not Linda. That's not the right question. So again, from Linda's other question here, the 15-minute cities being implemented. I saw someone say this morning that they're implementing it in Edmonton. Okay, so are they implementing a 15-minute city rule to Edmonton? And are they planning to do this on a larger scale? Let's see. Okay, so it looks like it is very real. Okay, it does look like it's a real thing, but I think that not a lot of people are going to get as caught up in it as we think. Okay, there may be just certain areas that may be having it. I don't feel like this is going to be widespread. I feel like we are going to be moving away from stuff like this. Okay, it's not to say that they haven't been trying to erect certain plans with this. All right, and there will be some people who may get hit with this. Okay, so there are certain implementations that are taking place. So Edmonton may be one of those areas that may have it for a certain amount of time, but whatever the feeling is, it's not going to last. Okay, if it does happen, it's going to be erected for a very, very short amount of time, and it's going to then fall away. Okay, so whatever this 15 minutes city rule is, it looks like it's not going to last. Right, it may be something very, very temporary. And I think only small, sectors, small points on the map are actually going to be affected by this. It's not going to be widespread. Okay, that's what I get. All right, guys, we're out of time for today. So thank you, everybody, for your questions. Thank you, guys, for your donations as well, too. I really appreciate that. So remember, come back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, as, again, I'm going to be having Janine on for our 5th interview together. So, again, go down to the video description, and you'll see the link there for Zoom. Just click on Zoom, and you can be a live attendee. So I'll be broadcasting this live on Zoom, but it will also be here on YouTube as well too, where you can watch. But again, if you want to ask Janine a question, make sure that, again, your questions are semi-personal or general in nature. And again, make sure that you're on Zoom. Okay, I can hold up to 500 people on Zoom. So feel free to participate with that. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I also have a surprise for you guys tomorrow in store. Okay, I'm not going to say what it is right now. You got to tune in to find out. It's going to be during the announcement time before I interview Janine. So tune into the announcements. I have a surprise for you guys. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Blessings, infinite blessings to you all. And I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new Body Deck Special Edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.